I'm going to check my curls to make sure I look good. Okay. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to Just a Girl Talk. My name is Jenny, and if you are new here, if you're new, of course, be sure to subscribe, turn your notifications on so you never miss an episode. So what I'm about to say may bother some people, and I apologize in advance, but I just have to say this. Every woman who's a wife, you might see a woman wearing a ring and she's saying she's a wife and all those good things, but a lot of these women who are wives are not good wives and do not have the best mentality or way of thinking, because there's a lot of married women out here who are advocating for broken homes. And I think that that's the craziest thing, to be married, have a family, no matter if it's perfect or not the best, right? You have a family, but instead you don't care if people don't create families. You don't care if women want to do whatever they want to do. Like, I just don't get it. I think it's so disheartening. I think it's so concerning that someone who has a family and who has created that foundation for their children would then encourage women can do what they want. If they don't want to have a father in their kid's life, it doesn't matter. It just blows my mind. So on one of my posts on TikTok, a woman had commented basically saying, how do I feel about women who choose to be single mothers? A choice, meaning that they go to the sperm bank and get it, for sperm donor, because they've, they're at the age, they're 30 plus, just haven't found the right person, and they want to have a child and they don't want to miss their chance. And I personally feel like that's the most selfish thing a woman can do, right? I think it's selfish for your child. You are thinking solely about what you want and not what your child needs. And a lot of times when it comes to being a mother, so many women are doing that exactly. Thinking about what they want, what they need, what they deserve. And in turn, your children are affected by what you wanted throughout those 9 months. And then they have to reap those consequences for the rest of their lives. And that's the selfish part about it. To want to be a single mother by choice, again, that's what you want. That's what the woman wants. But again, what does the child need? So we were having a conversation about this on TikTok Live. And a woman came on, made it very clear that she's married with children. But she knows plenty of women who have got a sperm donor. And they are good. They're fine. And their kids will be okay, is the narrative. So for me, I'm just like, okay. And she also said, let me make sure I say this, that she doesn't see anything wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it, because the kids will be okay. They could be okay. But again, you didn't do that. You have a husband. You have children that you created with your husband. But yet, because your sister, your auntie, your cousin, they've done it, that should be okay. So many people, I realize that they don't want to take a stance for right and wrong if it's going to go against the people that they love and care about, right? So because I might disagree with a woman, if a woman decides to have a baby with a married man, I know it's wrong. I know I don't agree with it. But if my sister did it, I'm going to be like, well, what does it matter? All because I don't want it to seem like I'm going against my sister. Right is right, wrong is wrong. It could be anybody, your sister, your cousin, whoever. I realize that's why a lot of women, they don't want to take a stance on right or wrong, because they know that their mom did it, their sister is doing it. So if I say that I don't agree with it, how am I going to look? And that's the unfortunate side, right? Again, as a married woman, how could you ever think that this is okay? Why would you think it's okay? And you don't have that type of lifestyle, and your kids see a father in their home. So why wouldn't you want to advocate for that? You can still say these people did that, but in my opinion, even though I know people who have done it, I still believe a child needs a father. Like, why can't we find a way to have our own point of view and our own opinion without attaching it to somebody that we know? Right? And a lot of women talk about, like, if I want to be married, you should be around married women, and that's who you should hang around. But you have to be very careful. And it's so unfortunate. Again, people are people. No matter if you got a ring on your finger or not, there's a lot of selfish wives out in this world who have the most craziest mindsets. It's still a very selfish person. There's a lot of married women who are married but want to live a single life, who are married but want to have a single mentality. And that is what I noticed. A lot of these married women have a ring on their finger, but they have a very single mentality, and they want to play this fine line of that. And I think that that's so unfortunate. I think it's so unfortunate, and it's so disingenuous. We think about just the Black community as a whole, and the biggest thing, in my opinion, that has affected our communities all across this country is the lack of family. There's so many broken homes. There's it's crazy. Like, there's no family structure. We lack support. We lack the village. Like, we don't care about our community. We just don't care about family at all. And having women, who are married, who have a family, not care about family, that's concerning. That's very concerning for me. And again, the reason I always talk about this stuff is because, again, what example are we setting for the young girls who are growing up? If we are trying to normalize that, if you get to a certain age that you haven't figured it out and you ain't really found the man that you want, but you want to be a mom, just go to the sperm bank, or or just do IVF and just have your baby. That is setting people up for failure. Setting children, should I say, up for failure. You're setting that child up. You're not even giving your child a chance. Like, you're not giving, rather you do that. If you adopt, if you are making a conscious decision to raise a child by yourself, that is selfish on the part in regards to your child. Your child does not get a fair chance at life just because of your decision. And as a married woman myself, I will always advocate for family. Even if I wasn't married, me personally, just who I am as a person, I still would advocate for family. Because what a lot of married women do, they put their stuff on other women. So even if let's say I'm in my marriage and my marriage sucks, it's terrible, me and my husband just don't get along, whatever the case may be, that does not mean because my marriage is not going as good as I would like, that I'm going to then dump my stuff onto other women and tell them they don't need a family, they don't need a husband. And that's why we can't get a clear, that's why we hear so much bashing about marriage, because married women sit on these apps lives, just having these conversations about how much they're miserable in their marriage, or they also they're projecting onto other women because of their misery. So you're already not giving women a chance to see for themselves. Again, I could be in a terrible place with my marriage, but I'm going to still tell someone, this is my experience, but sis, you can do better. Right? You have a chance. Learn from me. Maybe I didn't learn. Maybe I didn't watch this. Who knows? But I would never, ever, as a married woman, advocate or try to encourage or not want to say right or wrong when it comes to family, what a child needs. As a mother and seeing my children with their father on a daily basis, why wouldn't I want that for my children? Why wouldn't I? It's the most beautiful thing. And like I said, I think we just have to be so very careful of who we listen to. These women out here are not coming from a genuine place. They are projecting. They are trauma dumping, trauma bonding. So you'll have a married woman who's sitting around trauma bonding with a bunch of single women, and in turn, you're influencing them to not get married. Just because you're like, oh my God, my marriage sucks. This terrible. Girl, don't get married. Girl, you don't need no husband. Girl, these men ain't nothing. And that is what we buy into. We buy right on into it. But one thing for sure, in other communities, in other cultures, the white community, they are not sitting around talking about how you don't need no husband. Everybody knows that you need a husband. You need to have family. You need to have community. We all stick together. That is what they're talking about. They don't care if their last marriage was terrible. Girl, I'm going to find me another husband. I'm gonna have me some more babies with my husband. We're not promoting this. And the controversy came up about, what are the stats on who's the highest consumer of the sperm bank. And honestly, I'm going to look into it because that's an interesting question that I want to find out. And if I can find out the stats I'll drop it in this video, so that way you guys can see it as well. But I think it's all a business. It's a business. They're targeting to some group of people, I don't know, but definitely I think it's if we don't get a hold of ourselves as black women, if we aren't, we could become the highest consumers of going to a sperm bank, going to the, those type of companies. If we're going to get this idea that you can be, young and turned throughout your 20s, and when you hit 30s, your early 30s, you could start thinking about life and maybe having a family or maybe having a baby. But again, if there's a certain point in time, it's like, well, I mean, I'm 36, I ain't find the right man, so let me just have a baby. That is our go-to response. Anything don't work out, have a baby. I need something to help me get through this thing, let me have a baby. I need somebody to help me heal, let me have a baby. We put so much on these babies out of our own selfish reasons, our own selfish doing, our own consequences that we have done. We have to take our own actions, shall I say, is the reasons why there's so many consequences in life. So in that scenario, if you're 30 plus and you haven't found the right man, what happened? What was going on? Why haven't you found the right man if you're in your mid 30s? It can't just be all the men were terrible. Sometimes, at some point, you have to self-reflect and take accountability. And that's one of the things when it comes to being married, and women who talk about their story with marriage, nobody's taking accountability. Everything is, again, a way to trauma bomb of women. And if you can push the narrative that men are the worst things walking this earth and you don't need a man, especially not a black man, you don't have to tell anything. They'll believe anything that you say. You just say, I'm not happy in my marriage. They'll be like, yeah, girl, because he must be beating you up. That's the go-to. That's the go-to. And we have to get hip to knowing that women are not always honest. That's just a fact. They're not always honest about what's going on. But they will trauma bond and advocate for destruction, advocate for single motherhood, advocate for, fatherless home. Like, it's just tell you how your kid don't need a father. Like, how can you do that? And your kids are coming home to their father every single day. Every day. That to me is given, I don't want you to be better than me, so I'm gonna keep you where you at. And that's what a lot of these women do. They don't want women to get where they're at or exceed them. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to keep you below me, and encourage and support single motherhood. And I know that's where you if you're down there, you ain't gonna never touch me. That is what I truly believe. What a lot of these women, when they talk about some of the stuff that they talk about, we see it from these, a lot of these big influencers. They're telling you one thing and doing another. But I just think it's a scary place that we are headed, to be quite honest. It's very scary. It's very unfortunate. And you, again, as a married woman myself, when I hear some of these married women talk, it's unbelievable. I mean, they brag about how they don't need their husband. They brag about how they get to do whatever they want. They brag about how, just the craziest stuff of how you don't need your husband. So we're advocating for women not needing their husbands, like advocating for being able to do whatever you want as a wife. Like, it's setting women up for failure, and it's also setting women up to have unrealistic expectations. So you're out here dating intentionally, trying to find a husband, and you have all these non-negotiables of how you should be able to do whatever you want. You should be able to do this. You should be able to wear whatever, because this picture is being painted to those women that's how wives should be able to operate. Even as a wife, you should be you could be a wife, but you could still advocate for single homes. Like, no one wants to pick a side. There's no right or wrong in today's society, and that's messed up. I think for me as a mother, it just makes me worry about my children and what they're growing up in, the society they're growing up in, because again, they're going to grow up in this world with people who are raised by their parents. And who will my son meet someday? The woman that he'll marry, God willing. What are the options going to be? If nobody cares about family, if all these women just really hate black men, they're the worst thing just out here. So why have a family? Again, that whole you don't need a father, that you got enough money, and that's the downfall for us. Everything goes back to money. Everything goes to money. When we know, the real parents know this. The good mothers know this, that money does not raise children. It doesn't. It provides a good life, for sure. Gives them what they need, even what they want. But money doesn't raise children. The money doesn't raise them. Money doesn't teach them morals, dignity, respect. You could be the brokest parent and still teach your kids good, solid things that they need to have in life, to be good people without a lot of money. So when we have this, well, she has money, she could do it. Again, that has nothing to do with what that child needs. They need a father. How are you going to explain to your child when they get older, when they get to school age, and everyone has their father? What do you say to them? Well, mommy wanted you more than, a dad. You needed a dad, so, Like, we got to start thinking about our children's future the moment we find out we're expecting. Because what we do affects our children. And even before you decide, like I said, if you have this, I'm having baby fever, get a dog. Get a hobby. Look at your situation. Look what's going on. And stop letting people think that you should be able to just do whatever you want. Bring children into this world and it be whatever. And put it on your grandma, your mama, whoever, to take care of your kids. Because again, you can have all the money in the world, but what if you don't have the time, the mental health, the intelligence? So we can't just wave money around and think that that's what's going to raise our kids. And a lot of women, black women especially, have this idea that money is that's it. That's all you need. And that's unfortunate. That's kind of like, many people come from poverty. They're coming from places where they didn't have money. So the idea or thought is, I just have money for my baby and we're good. And that's why they don't need a dad. You hear people talk about this all the time. Even these, celebrities or, influencers, they're always like, well, I remember Bow Wow baby mom Joy. She was like, I raised my kids. What did she say? I take care of my kids and I don't need their fathers. I do it by myself. And I'm like, that's not a flex. Like, I don't know where the flex in. I do it by myself. Like, you have children by multiple different men. And great, you got the money to do it, but it's no flex in doing it by yourself. And that whole, like, I could do it by myself, I don't need their fathers, and I don't child support, great. Then I don't child support. But doing it by yourself, it's not a flex. And like sitting on trying to brag about that is unfortunate. And there's a married woman that's sitting around with her family and her kids and will still try to say, well, that's okay. Well, who said they needed fathers? So your kids needed fathers, but you don't care about the rest of the people out here. How? A lot of people just don't care. A lot of women are just, I don't know, it's just, I don't know if it's jealousy, if it's hate, if it's insecurities, if it gets, just the way that we look at things, the way we process things, the way that we attack things. It's unfortunate. And again, kids are suffering. Children are suffering. They're suffering. But again, please be mindful, ladies. If you are a woman who wants to be married, and I know, like I said, everyone promotes hanging around married women, but you have to be very careful. Listen to these women when they talk. Listen to these women when they talk, because a lot of these married women, they dumb as a doorknob. Dumb as a doorknob, unfortunately. They have no respect. They have no dignity. They have no moral compass. But they have a husband. That's a fact. But you got to dig deeper you have to listen to these people talk. If you listen to them talk long enough, you'll be like, oh yeah, you're a doozy. That don't sound right. Because you think about, as a wife, why would a wife be talking about her husband like that? Why would a woman who has a husband with kids, why would she be advocating for somebody to not have a father? Like, pick up on that stuff. Don't be convinced. Don't think it's cool. Listen. Okay, listen clearly, because I'm telling y'all, these women, I said they trying to trick y'all. They are tricking you. And even the ones, like I said, the ones that have families that are married, they're tricking. They are. So, I don't know, y'all. Just let me know in the comments your thoughts on this topic. If you've ever experienced, some negativity from a married woman, let me know below in the comments. Again, please be sure to subscribe, y'all. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are close to 600, so if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.